how you doing? My name is Anthony Gray. You're not going to see too much of me, but I am actually standing for this one. Somebody on a website, one of the art websites, asked about the particular background that I did for the flower cluster. And I'm going to do it for you right here. I have to do it as a YouTube video because of the time it will take for the paint to totally dry. But we're going to do it in stages. I'm going to try to emulate it. The same process as I did with that painting. Okay. First off, what we need is just black and white paint. This is craft paint, nothing special. All right. So it's craft paint. Any type of wide brush. All right. It doesn't really matter if it's a wood trim brush like this or one of the other fancier brushes. And possibly a giant soft, it's essentially a mop brush, but it's nothing but a giant makeup brush. Okay, I'm going to use for this one, to make it easier for more people to try it, it's a spray bottle of water and a spray bottle of regular over-the-counter, if I can get it out of here first, rubbing alcohol. That's all. Okay, and we're going to get right on to it. Very simple to do this process. You will get wet, I must say. Well, it is it's a messy undertaking. I'm just covering up my camera here because it is going to splatter and make a little bit of a mess. Okay, and you just take the water and you just now this board is 16 by 20. It's a canvas panel, and I'm just gonna spritz on a little bit of water. Don't drench it, okay, but just spritz a little bit of water on. I'm going to take I'll take some white paint first. You can usually either do the white paint first or the black paint first, really up to you. I'll put it toward the middle here like this, and I'll put some around here on the corner just like that, and keep it pretty much like that. All right, for the effect that I got with my painting, I used the black and white paint. And here we go, we throw in some black in here, pop in some over here in the corner like this. It really don't matter. However you wanna do it. All right, and now that we have that going on, take the water bottle a little closer, just let it run, let things happen, just like so. And just let it do what it do, just as you see right here. Okay. Make sure you get nice equal amounts of black and white paint. Okay, I'll put some up there, let it run and do whatever it's going to do there. Now, I can take this, what you're looking at right now, and now I can take the mop brush here and just kind of very delicately make some swirly things happen. Let me get this water bottle out of my hand here and take a little towel, a little rag or something, and I'll just wipe off the excess real quick, and I'll go into the white and kind of make some little things like this happen with it. Okay, kind of float it around, come out here, do the same thing. Okay, as you see, I'm not doing it all over the place. Okay, let some of it run and be natural, let it do what it does. Okay, just like you see here. All right, if you want to add more black, add more black. If you want to add more white, add more white. Okay, I'm gonna go up in the corner, just up here. I'll add a little bit of black because you need some strong contrast here and there. Okay, much like that. And like I say, if you want to wave it around or fluff it around, it's up to you how you want to do it. All right, it's your interpretation of how you want it done, how much black and white you want in it. Truly up to you. Okay, I might want something a little deeper down here, but we're gonna spray it again with a little bit of water, and we'll, see what happens. Come down here, just spray it a little bit, just let it run. Come down here, let it run a little bit. All right. Okay, just like that. Let it run, let it do all sorts of little things. Okay, entirely up to you how you want this to look. All right, now rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol while the paint is still wet will definitely have an effect of just spreading it apart. Now remember, I'm vertical here. Okay, so obviously everything's going to trail downward. You follow me? So we get down here, add some of that. Nope, this is not alcohol, this is water. My bad. It's not giving me the effect that I want. This is rubbing alcohol. You'll see the spreading effect that it has. Okay, now you'll start to see all sorts of interesting designs. Let's go up here so you see the spots and everything. Okay, I can kind of keep it playing around up here like that. Now you see all the strange designs starting to happen there. You see that? And you put it in as much as you want, really. You know, I can have it come towards it. While it's wet, you can do all sorts of these crazy effects. I'll have it come straight down. We'll even play in the white paint here. Just like so. And you just let it happen, Captain. Now, I'm on an easel. The easel's obviously vertical. Okay, so obviously everything is going to go down to the lowest point. So if you're a little self-conscious about having a really messy board, you know, you just take take a tissue or rag or something, just wipe it off. Wipe off the side here. Now this is rubbing alcohol. It'll just dry up. Okay, so it's really no big thing. It's harmless. All right. And of course, some of it pools down on the bottom. And when it pools like that, you just wipe it away. The paint is still coming downward. So even though you're wiping it away, it will get covered over again by the paint coming down doing what it's doing. But now you start to see some of the designs and some of what's going on with it. Take your brush, and once again, you can kind of turn it, fluff it around, do all sorts of interesting things with it. Come out this way. Okay, now remember, the paint is still in constant motion. All right, so even though I'm stirring it around, it will flatten out. You follow me? It will smooth out, flatten out. All sorts of interesting things. If something that you don't like, kind of brush it over. See all the little series of gray that's happening? And if you don't like what you see, spray it again. It's okay. Just like that. So now you can see different tones, different shapes. Everything is happening. Okay. And like I say, if you don't like what you see, you always paint around it, paint over it, or respray it. It's definitely up to you. It's your world. Do what you feel is right. Okay. For you. And see, I'm just doing it again, adding some more little spatters. I can come here and add a couple there. Okay, so you get instant little designs. This is rubbing alcohol that's doing that. Okay. Bring a couple up there. I might want to have another trail down here, so just pour it, let it run down, let it do what it does. So as it dries, it still gives a different effect as the paint dries. All right. And I'll probably end up leaving it just like this. Now, while that does its thing, you just let it dry. All right. You let it dry. Don't mess around with it too much. Don't play around. Don't think too much into it. If you set it somewhere flat, you're gonna get a different design. Remember, everything's going down to its lowest point. This is on a vertical board, so everything's traveling downward. But as you see, it's starting to get nice little edges and rims. Okay. Now, like I said, once again, once this totally dries, then you can apply your glazing colors onto this. All right, so this was actually the quick part, really. Like I said, you can add more darks to it if you want, or keep it like that, because remember, you're adding color onto this. All right, so it doesn't necessarily have to be this dark if you don't want it to be. It can be different forms, different tones and shades of gray, if you want it that way. Up to you. All right. Now, acrylic paint, rubbing alcohol, water, it all dries according to temperature of your room. You follow me? So my room is a little warm, so this is it's not gonna take too much for it to dry. When I come back, once it dries, we will apply color to this. All right, and we'll probably use the same type of colors. I'll use yellow, orange, and who knows, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of orange, red, yellow, orange, and red, the three colors that are pretty much next to each other on the color wheel. I use those. Okay, and we'll probably do the same with this maybe. Hey there, welcome back. All right, now for the sake of time, all right, now this is dry, but for the sake of time, I'm going to use a little bit of vegetable glycerin. Now you can use water in your paint. I only have 3 colors plus white, and that's red, orange, and yellow. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of glycerin to keep the board pretty much slick so I can put the colors on. Okay, all right, so I'm dipping my brush into some glycerin. You only need a small amount. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. Okay, and it kind of has the appearance of molasses, the thickness of molasses. Okay, and you only need a scant bit. You don't need much. Don't really over force it. Okay, you only need a very thin amount. I'm actually borrowing some and moving it onto other spots because you just need a light coating of this stuff. Okay, like I say, I'm just wiping off some and putting it on in other spots. Okay, I'm dipping back into my glycerin because this is a 16 by 20 inch board. Come over here on the other side, down here by the lower corners, and just spread it on there. And what I'm doing, what this does is that it just gives the paint, 1, a longer drying time, and 2, you can blend colors into each other with the glycerin. Okay, and this is just me in a wide application of it. All right, and you can tell that you're getting all the spots because it kind of slides across. Okay, like I say, a lot of this stuff is already, the paint is dry, so I'm able to do all of this. It's, as you can see, clear. All right, and this is it, just like that. And you see the paint's not smudging or anything, it's totally dry. Okay, now why do I have titanium white? Well, yellow and the orange are transparent. Okay, we need to kind of bump up the color a little bit, but it's still going to be applied thinly. All right, the red we have no trouble with at all. Red is not transparent like that. This is just cad red. I'm going to use a little bit of cad red. I'll put the cad red down in here somewhere, just like this. Look, this is how you're getting your colors. Okay, very simple. Look at this, just like that. Okay, so you got a swath of red right there. Now with each pass of color, I will clean my brush totally. Now the thing with vegetable glycerin is that it goes through, water goes through it like a hot knife through butter. So when you clean your brush, clean it very well. All right, now I'm going into my yellow, but once again, I'm gonna pump my yellow up with just a little bit of white, just a very little bit, just to boost up that yellow a little bit. Okay, like I said, yellow's transparent. Okay, so we'll put the yellow right up in here like this. Just come on down with it. And you mix it in with that red a little bit like that. You kind of see where we're going at here with it. Pop some of that yellow up in there. Mix it in, just like so. Okay. You don't necessarily have to use yellow, but whatever color. I'm gonna get a little bit of orange. Okay, now orange and yellow are pretty close. I don't necessarily have to clean the brush for this part, but pop that orange in there like this. Now I didn't add any white to the orange, just a nice little cast of orange right up in there. See that? Put that orange and that red, slap it in there together. Okay, I'm getting some more orange. I'm gonna go down, we'll go down here to the bottom. A little bit of orange down here. So you can mix a little bit of that orange into the yellow, because one, they're kind of very closely related to each other on the color wheel, so you can kind of play around with it just like so. Okay, I like that orange. Maybe we'll have a kind of an orange cast over everything. Blend some of that orange into that red a little bit there. Just like that. Mix it right in. See? Put it right in there. I'm gonna take a little bit of white, a little bit of orange. Just bump up that orange a little bit. Okay. And we'll put a little bit of it in here. We'll put some of it down in here. Now, you see how strong it is, right? You don't see anything. You just keep working at it. Have that background color come through. All you do is work at it. Keep working at it. Keep blending. It'll show through. Once it dries, it'll thin out. This is why I don't use too much white. But don't worry, as it dries, it will show through. Trust me. And all you do really is, see, just fade it around. Move it around. Move it into that red a little bit, like that. Okay, just keep fading. Keep blending. Put it right in there. It'll come through. All that color will come through. Don't worry about that. Once it dries, this is what the glycerin does. It helps you blend everything together, as you can see. Okay, I'm gonna go into a little bit of red, just a few hairs of red. Red's a very powerful color. Okay, we all know that. Let's kind of bring some of that around in here like that. Spread that out a little bit. Just like this. Put it red in there. Okay, now that I did that, clean off my brush. We're gonna go to the blender brush now. Make sure you clean your brush very well after each pass. Okay. I have a Stay Wet palette. And I'm just gonna take some of that residual color from my Stay Wet palette. I'm gonna just wipe it off. And I'll put it, use this towel here, get the residual color off. I don't need any more off of that. Let's take our large, use this filigree. Well, no, where's my other one? I like my other one. Where's that big fella? Can't, I must have set it somewhere. I don't see it. Now I'll use this one. This one's fine. Use this big guy. Okay, we're gonna blend all this together. Okay, and I'm gonna start with the brighter color. I'm gonna start with the yellow oranges. And basically I'm going in a wide circle and I'm just getting rid of the streaks. Now with glycerin, what glycerin does, as it dries, it will dry. It will spread while it dries. So the paint, even though it's on a layer, it starts to spread as it heats up and it starts to dry. Okay, now I can feel with this brush that the paint is getting tacky, which means that the glycerin is starting to dry, which is actually a beautiful thing. Okay, you can vary your hand pressure. Okay, if you want more of that background to show. Okay, even with the white. Okay, you can see the background. Background still showing through. Okay, so I tend really not to use too much white, but in this case, it actually brings out the brightness of the background where all the white is. Okay, but now you got a nice glazed color going in here. And really, there you go. Got some hairs in there. Get the hairs out of there. You always get hairs in your painting, but there it is. Okay. There we go. Get some of those brush streaks out of there. And this is it. This is all you have to do. Okay. You still see your tones and your shades in there. All right, all that good stuff. And you got a nicely blended orange, red, and yellow coloring underneath the black and white abstract looking piece. Okay, and this is it. No more, no less. This is what you have. You can add other colors. Doesn't necessarily have to be the primary kind of colors. It could be whatever color you see fit. It could be purple, green, blue, whatever color. Okay, I just chose the brighter colors because they kind of show off the background. the initial first background. That's why I chose those colors. Okay, so you got to kind of think ahead a little bit, because you know, even though this is just the background, you have to keep in consideration what you're going to put on top of this background, basically. All right. Okie dokie. Let's get to the splatter. The splatter is pretty much the fun part. I'm going to take a fan brush. I'm going to take the biggest fan brush, one of the biggest fan brushes I have. Okay. One of these guys here. Okay. Now remember, in the beginning of this, we used nothing but black and white. This stuff here, the craft paint. We're going to still use the craft paint. So I'm going to show you how to do the splatters. I'm going to dip my brush into water. All right. I'll wipe it off just a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit of white paint. Just get it. It's like a dance. You get it. You want it watery, but you don't want it too watery where it starts to run. Okay. The further you are away, let me put my towel back over my camera because it will get splattered. The further you are away, the more random it is. The closer you are away, the more localized it is. Okay. And so you should be able to see this. I'll just do it from a little ways away. There you go. See the splatters? Okay. Now, do the splatters have to be white? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You can put them purple, black, whatever colors you feel will help with your project. Okay. Now remember, with the glycerin, this in the water, it will spread a little bit. Okay, and I'll do a nice little grouping where it kind of bunches up. Then you can open it up a little bit. This is all to your interpretation of what you want in your painting. You follow me? But you know, there it is. It's going to start to kind of melt and mash together as you're doing this. The thicker the paint, the more it will grip and stay. Okay, I'll use just pure white paint right here. You have to, now if you use pure craft paint, if it's just pure white paint, it's a little thicker. Okay, it will appear to be, it will come on brighter, but it will definitely stick and stay. It won't have any water to help it trail. Okay, so it will be much brighter. And this is where using pure craft paint with no water, you have the advantage of just pure paint. Okay, and that's what you see here. All right, there. I don't need no more than what you see right there for that. And you just let this, once again, you have to let this also fully dry. Okay, and it's going to kind of travel a little bit, but it'll be dry before it goes any further. Once again, you just experiment. Okay, you experiment with it, see how much water in relation to paint you need to get the splatter you want. All right, all up to you, your interpretation of all of that. I'm just cleaning off the brush. I think I'm going to throw some red in there. Okay, I'm going into my red. I got water, a little bit of water on the brush. So we'll give this a couple flicks. Put it in the yellow area where it can be kind of seen. There we go. Look at that. That's cool. See, that'll work. So right where the yellow is, pop some splatters in there. I turn the brush around, get some interesting splatters going. You will get this stuff on your clothes. You will get it on you. I got tablets and stuff and cameras all around. You're gonna get, you're gonna get splatters. You know, it's okay. You know, it's okay. That's why you got a bunch of towels around. You know, I got some on my lip. You know, so you know, it happens. But basically, there you go. All right, that's it. The whole kit and caboodle, right there. All right. I'll zoom this in a little closer. You guys get to see the whole thing here. Let me zoom it in slowly here to fill up the page there. That should be good. Get the focus on. I'll go up, and you get to see all the tones, all the shades. what's going on with it here. You can see the splatters, and this is how easy doing the background is. Just like that. Okay. Just like this. Okay. Now let's zoom out a little bit here. But there you go. There, it should be pretty much even. All right. But that's it. And now, all you do is let it dry. Okay, I'm gonna clean off the red off my brush. I want my white to be a little more prominent. But now remember, we're gonna have something painted over this, but I want my white paint to kind of be a little more prominent. It's starting to dry and it's starting to mesh together. So we're gonna use more paint than water because I want some of my white droplets to really stay on there. So I'm just using the tip of the fan brush. I'll get a little closer and I'll just kind of pop on some solid white. That's more paint than anything. Just need a little touch of water just to loosen it up just a little bit. And then pop that white paint in there a little bit more. I just want a stronger representation of white on it. So, and you know, you do whatever you feel. I just want stronger white because I'm gonna put, you know, whatever floral pattern or something in here. But I think that's it. You don't want to overkill it. I just wanted a stronger palette of white in it, really. But this is my preference, my choice. If you want, I'll do it with this. Why not? We're having a little fun. I'm using black. Okay. I'm just dipping my brush into a little bit of water, getting some black. Okay. I'll put the towel right here. And there we go. Look at that. Slap some of that black in the corner. Look at that. I know you guys can pretty much see that pretty good. Okay. Just put some darkness in there in spots. Especially where it's a little bright at. I like the contrasted color. There we go. And remember, let it all dry. Let it all dry. This is gonna look great. This looks pretty wild, you know. Break up some of that white patch in there. Just a little bit there. I promise I won't add any more. That will be it. Okay. Now once it's dry, okay, remember, acrylic paint, once it, you know, it dries a few shades darker than what it looks like. So you still see everything cooking back there. You still see your patterns. You still see everything. Okay, and you know, the bright color, the yellow brings out that white that's underneath there. You can see the darkness from it. You see the reds. You see everything. Everything's, you got a lot of stuff happening here in this stage of the painting. Once it dries, you can take this painting, turn it upside down, turn it sideways, turn it to whatever way you will like to look at it. Just because you see me painting like this don't mean it necessarily has to stay like that. You can flip the whole thing over. Okay, nobody will know but you that you did the painting in one orientation. You turn it upside down, you might like it better if it's turned upside down. Nobody will know but you. It'd be our secret, okay? But this is how you get the background. Okay, I'm just wiping off stuff here. Now remember, it dries according to the temperature of your room. If your room is a little cool, it's gonna take a little longer to dry. If your room's a little warm, it's gonna dry rather quickly. Okay, so, but that's basically it, guys. All right. So you wanted to know how the background was done. Very short video, not very long, but this is how the background was done. Okay. Now once it dries, probably on another video or a live, I'll do something with it. But this is the video. This is it. This is how you do it. All right. Now, the person that asked me to do a video of this, they wanted pretty much these colors, and so once again, I represented the yellow, red, and orange paint, and I just added more splatter with the black. Right, because the other painting had red splatter in it. This one has a little black, but it's essentially the same color style or whatever. Same thing, you know. Basically, on the first stage of the painting is where the real magic happens. All right, how much dark and how much light do you want? How much of that contrasting color do you want? Once you layer the other colors on top of that black and white. All right. So essentially, you can do a number of these and just lay them to the side. You don't necessarily have to use the 3 colors that I've represented here. You can use whatever color you would like. Maybe you don't want to do black and white for a beginning. Maybe you want to do purple and white, or maybe you want to do gray and green, whatever. All right, once it dries, the acrylic dries, you can glaze whatever color you want on top of that. Just be mindful of what the color may turn into once you start glazing color on top of color. Okay, so all right, that is how it's done. I'll take a photo of this, obviously, for the when I talk in the beginning of the credits. I usually pop the finished piece on there while I'm running my mouth, but you guys will see that. And until next time, peace.